Hello, you're welcome. You're welcome onto my channel today, and it gives me great joy to observe you are viewing this video. I'm Professor Olayinka Akanle. I'm a lecturer in the university. On this channel, I do a number of studies, but all the studies I do on this channel, you can easily cluster them into four: sociology, research, relationship, and migration. And this video you are viewing today is on social policy. Meanwhile, I dropped a video before this. You have to view that video. The video was on public policy. So the ultimate thing we do in sociology or in social sciences, even in humanities, is to influence policy. We do researches is to influence policy and for other uses. But policy recommendation implication is central. So that's why I'm dropping this video. I've dropped the video on public policy. This one is on social policy. I will also drop another one to bring it together because people definitely have been asking me, what's the difference between public policy and social policy? And some other issues. So I will address it in my next video. So stay tuned. Meanwhile, if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly go ahead and click subscribe on your screen right now to join my family, your subscribers, so that you can be alerted every time I drop new videos. Every time I drop new video for you to be updated. So in this video on social policy, I will tell you the meaning of social policy, key characteristics of social policy, objectives of social policy, and I will tell you the new issue in social policy. Now, the meaning, social policy basically means the policy or policies or collectivity of policies that address these collectivities, these policies that address social exclusion for social inclusion. Is to address to address the issue of social exclusion in society, to bring more social inclusion into society. What do we mean by this? In the course of capitalist society and some other societies, based on the survival of the fittest, as put for as properly put together theoretically or epistemologically by Charles Darwin or Albert Spencer, the nature of modern or postmodern society is that some people generally believe that it's exploitative or that leads to high level of inequality in resources, inequality in funds, inequalities of opportunities, inequalities of rights, inequality of quality life. So when people are left out of enjoying the quality life they're supposed to enjoy, or when people are not able to function optimally within the mainframe to take their rightful position in enjoying quality life or in living life optimally, productively, we consider them to have been excluded. For example, poor people are considered excluded. Vulnerable people are considered excluded. People who are not able to function optimally at the center of society to play their key role and enjoy key benefits are considered excluded. So when people are not able to function optimally in society, they have been systematically disempowered. They have been pushed aside for different reasons. Can be on account of gender, can be on account of age, can be on account of capacities, can be on account of so many reasons. So when these people are left out, maybe they are suffering, they are not able to compete effectively to live quality life for different reasons. It can be because of their physical disability or their physical challenge, can be because of their age, old people, can be because of gender, where a particular gender is discriminated against, can be because of so many reasons. So when people are pushed away from the mainstream society, they are not able to live optimally to enjoy quality life, we consider them to have been socially excluded. So social policy want to address this social exclusion to be sure that everybody lives quality life and everybody is included in the activities of society to be able to optimally live a rewarding and fulfilling society. Social policy want to address the issue of social exclusion and ensure social inclusion, a society where everybody is able to live quality life, socially speaking. So it addresses social conditions of citizens. Social policy ultimately addresses social condition of citizens to be able to make them live quality life. which is basically an element of social contract in society. It's the duty of the state to provide for its citizens. It's the duty of the state to make sure no citizen is excluded from the productive activities of society and to live quality life. It's the basic thing every state, every society must be able to achieve. And policies are put forward to address this social, to ameliorate the human condition of society, to address the social exclusion, to address the social conditions of citizens, regardless of their age, their social demographics, or their condition. So it addresses, social policies of countries ultimately address the need to meet the unmet needs of people, socially speaking. Because social policies are put together to meet the needs of poor and vulnerable groups. Vulnerable groups, the poor and vulnerable groups. People, there are some people who are already poor. There are some people who are not yet poor, but they are very close to poverty, or they don't have problems, but they are at the margin of falling out of the fabric of society. Social policies are put together to meet such needs. And social policies can target individuals, families, groups, of people in societies. Social policy usually social policies cover healthcare system situation of people, poverty, addresses commonly addresses poverty, of people, education people, income gaps, insecurity, the welfare of people. That's why sometimes you have cash transfer. You have also unemployment benefit, So just like safety nets, social safety nets, to make sure people are protected and they don't fall ultimately to oblivion. And so social safety net is a very good element of of social policy, and this is usually also very common in emergency and non-emergency situations. So social policy formulation, development, management are very important. And when services are created by the government through its agencies, ministry and department, to support well-being of population, social policy is evident. I say that again. That is, when you see social policy is formulated, developed and managed through government, its services, through its agencies, ministry and department, to support the well-being of the population. That social policy is right on spot in that place. Social policy, as they are formulated, they are developed, and they are managed by the government of a society in a coherent, sometimes in very incoherent ways, for many countries that we are. So examples can be, unemployment benefit insurance, or you have the universal health coverage, for example, or universal health insurance, social assistance programs, to address some of these issues of social exclusion. And there are key characteristics that you will see that will draw you clearly to the conclusion that this is a social policy. Key characteristics number one is that social needs that people need to live fulfilled life are provided, and then social policies ameliorate the negative conditions, or the negative conditions that people live in society. It addresses inequalities and social exclusion in society, and it provides safety net for people. It provides welfare services and public administration. Because if you leave everything to the capitalist society, or if you leave everything to the private sector or the forces of demand and supply, people have different capabilities. Some of them are structurally disempowered over time. So government must come to fill in this gap, and that's why the resources of the country, natural resources, human resources, taxes must be properly used and distributed for common good of people. So, and socials, I mean, many people will be saying, well, people should be allowed to take care of themselves. No, people have different challenges, have different, existential, structural, and social issues that make them unable to compete with some others. What about people that are physically challenged? What are they going to do? They are fundamentally disadvantaged, or society where gender inequality is established and institutionalized. So a gender might be disempowered, might be disadvantaged, or societies where you don't have child protection systems in places. They are also children are human beings, so they also have to be catered for. What about the elderly? Elderly who have used their life to service the country, but now they are old. They are not able to compete. They are on the account of old age and sicknesses at old age. So social policies are put in place in terms of pension. Unfortunately, in some countries, in poor countries, those pensions are embezzled, stolen. So pension is a scam in some places. Taxes are stolen. Natural resources that are meant for everybody stolen. Corruption all over the world. But these policies must be targeted at these poor and vulnerable populations. And the objective is just to provide safety, provide security, provide social balance for everybody in that society through social support services. And that's why you have issues like legal aid. So some people even have their rights abused. They don't even have the money to take lawyers or to defend themselves. Government was able to provide services in that instance and use social programs, social services, to support and to create more equitable. So essentially, social policies also try to make sure that there's a balance, there's a social balance in society. Now, there's a very important thing I will tell you is the fact that why social policy is just generally, is what it is. People talk about social policy. Social policy has been there for so long. Also, if you view my video on public policy also, I mentioned something. It's been there for so long. Yet, these problems, this social exclusion, in some instances continue to aggravate. So, there has been now strong intellectual, epistemic, practical, pragmatic, vexations and agitations and interventions that we should move from the realm of social policy generally that social policies have not been able to really address social exclusion. Sometimes social policies, as we know them, social policies tend to just treat the symptoms of this issue. Now there is the concept of transformative social policy. Oh, this place I must remember and acknowledge Professor Jimmy Adesina, the distinguished professor of social policy. He's a global scholar, sometimes at the UN, but I think currently he's in South Africa. Professor Jimmy Adesina has been pushing the agenda of transformative social policy. And also, I must acknowledge also Professor Tandika Nkandawiri of blessed memory. It's also a very good associate of Professor Adesina before his transition to eternity. So transformative social policy also talks about the need to even address the root cause, the drivers, the context, the contextual issues that actually lead to social exclusion. Rather than giving people handout, fish, teach them out of it. Let there be more structural, let there be social structural retooling. Let's create a social structure and let's address the fundamental fabric of society to rejig, to reshape the power dynamics, the social dynamics of those societies in a way that creates more equitable situation. So let's address it from the root. Let's do a root cause analysis, fishbone analysis, and address the root cause of social exclusion. Then let social policy then become transformative to address the root cause of this social exclusion. Then social policy will be able to move from palliative to structural balance, asking questions from the fundamental structure of society that is generating social exclusion. Then, rather than all this palliative, fine, social safety nets are okay, palliatives are okay, providing some cash transfer, but these are palliative. These are just ameliorative. And these have not addressed the root cause. So transformative social policy essentially talks about addressing the root cause of inequality, addressing the root cause of social exclusion. So such policy should have fundamental questions and address the fundamental root of this social exclusion. So the social policy should move from the angle of just providing handouts or palliatives to asking questions and attempt to address the fundamental structure that is driving this social exclusion. Fantastic. And I think that is just the way policies should look at. You are talking about gender inequality, gender imbalance that is building social exclusion. You're talking about, systems that create unemployment, systems that create poverty. Then you're talking about, okay, let's give the poor people, let's give them grants, let's give them benefits. Now you give them benefits, it builds entitlement, or you continue to talk about affirmative gender action. Yet the structure that continues to build gender inequality remains there, even strengthened sometimes. Then you just treating symptoms without the causes of the disease. So transformative social policy, I think I quite agree with the fathers of this. I've just acknowledged Professor Tandikan Kandewiri. I've also acknowledged Professor Jimmy Adesina, who has been doing a lot in this area, asking this question about the need for social policy to be transformative. So I think I quite agree that social policy should move away from the angle of just dishing out handouts, giving people fishes, without teaching them how to fish, to ask fundamental questions from the structures that continue to build imbalance or imbalances in different society and continue to create social exclusion. In a way that we create social policy, continue to interrogate and intervene at the level of creating micro level, meso level, and macro level retooling of structures of society to create a more equitable, more inclusive society rather than just managing or ameliorating, the consequences of those social structural imbalances. So that's transformative social policy for you. And I bring you to it, and I think this is just the right way to go. Till I see you in my next video, kindly click subscribe and bye for now.